Today we're at Hawkesbury Dentistry in North Richmond in Sydney's northwestern outskirts. We're going to have a look at the case of the day with our clinical CBCT trainer, Dr. Steve Cross. How are you?
Terrific, Sean. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Wanted to go through the case you captured with your OP3D Pro.
Sure.
Maybe give us a little bit of information, a rundown on this case.
Yeah, so a lady presents with a retained upper left deciduous canine, and it's mobile. She's about 30 years of age. It's about to exfoliate, and she wanted to know what are the options with implants. So very briefly, once we got her scanned, in a matter of minutes we could assess, advise and treatment plan the whole case, which we eventually did. But if you just like to look over here, and I'll show you the 3D image of this.
Spectacular image quality.
Yeah,
Is that an 8x15 field
Yeah,
of view?
that's an 8x15. So here's this very worn deciduous upper left canine, and I'm just going to, so we've got that picture up. I'll just go through really quickly putting it together. I'll just adjust my plane there a bit.
So you're just scrolling through.
Just scrolling through there, and I'll then brighten it up a little. I'll put my arch curve in.
Steve, are you okay for me to bring your 1 o'clock?
And got the actual arch there, and brighten up a little bit, and you can see I'll filter this. And so it's tied up, brighten this up a little bit too, and you can see as I move the trough back and forth that we've got quite a long length of bone there. I'll bring the slice. I'll just bring the slice through in half a sec. Easy to do. Let's put everything back. And I'll just bring that slice forward. You can just reference it, just put it straight onto the spot. Brighten this up a little bit. Now, first thing you want to know is the lengths of how much bone you've got there. I'll just filter this a little bit too, so it's clearer. And brighten it. That's it. So we want to know the length of the bone and the width of the bone. So 5 by about 20, plenty of length. I just take that off with the delete button. So now my head, and I want to know the density of that bone.
So you've got a density measurement area there?
Yeah, this profile does it very accurate in Hounslow units.
So you start off at the top, yep.
Start at the top, and here we are starting from the top in millimetres down, and I know very accurately, here's my type 1-2 bone, here's my softer bone down here. There's a couple of spots which are D5, but overall it's not too bad, so I can say that if I want. I won't at the moment, so I'll just remove that. So I know on that basis you might use a slightly more aggressive implant thread. So I know the dimensions. I now go straight over to the implant selection, pick and place. I'll use a Noble Biocare one from here. Noble Active is a more aggressive thread.
You can put your own implants into that? Like
Absolutely.
You can customise it?
You can customise, put your own library in, that's right. So I'm going to say, look, let's 3.5 at, say, 11.5. Just touch the area, and it's going to be up there in the 2-3 position. As soon as I do that, I can then move the implant in a position. And I do this with the patient beside me. It's very helpful. They can see what I'm doing. It's probably a little bit short, so I'm going to say, look, I'm going to replace the implant. I'm going to go slightly longer. There, and it's got a zone of exclusion, which I can vary if I like around it. You could probably go a little bit longer on this one. You might even go to just for the object, the exercise. So there's our implant. You refine this nicely, but just for example, I'm showing this to the patient. They can see what I'm talking about. And then what I do, I make this bigger. I just go to the fine tune, bring the contrast down, and the patient can see exactly. You can adjust it slightly there, and it's a very helpful thing to patient understanding what you're doing.
So that's a really simple workflow for all dentists to be able to bring the patient in, take the scan, bring it up actually on the 3D software, and then be able to show the patient how it's going to look, and also do the double checks on bone density.
Yes.
And measurements and everything like that, and record it into the program.
Terrifically helpful. If you're not doing implants, you're not doing complicated jobs. I think I wrote down 19 different applications of this system to general practice dentistry, from broken cusps and broken roots, MB2s, pre-prosthetic. I like to have a look at what's underneath before you go to any expense and hassle for the patient. And periodontics. It's the best system to really show the patient, particularly in that 3D image of the skull, where the pockets are and what we're doing, gum surgery or tooth removal or grafting or whatever.
And most of the time, is that a standard resolution image you've got there?
Standard resolution, yes.
So you've got the ability to take a higher resolution if you want.
If I wanted to say I was chasing something like an NP2 or a fine crack at a root, you take a small volume at a high resolution and really get a very high definition. But I use this thing at standard resolution, which is a very modest radiation level too. Yeah.
So thumbs up for the OP3D Pro.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't. I love it. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. Cheers.